Right, Shalom, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachachodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well, and Shalom to all you arguing, pushing this word around the globe with faith and in truth and in sincerity. As always, I'd like to begin by saying we are the real Hebrew Israelites. The real Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, and West Africans predominantly. However, you are going to get Israelites that look like the other nations because Israel has been scattered amongst all people throughout our various captivities. So therefore, if your seed line, which is your nationality, or your forefathers goes back to the man in the Bible named Israel, then you too are an Israelite no matter what you may look like. Because pertaining to Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18, it clearly says that your lineage, which is your nationality, is determined by the line of your forefathers, not your mothers, but your forefathers. So, I'm going to do another lesson here. Article I was just reading in the Metro News, and it says rapist freed because of coronavirus, kills his accuser, then himself. Now this was published yesterday, I believe. Yeah. No, it's Sunday. Well, yeah, just over a day ago. It says a rape suspect freed from jail because of coronavirus pandemic killed his accuser, then himself, police said. Now you can see there's a picture of the supposed killer and his victim. If you look at the victim, man, you can see her face. She ain't thinking about the Most High. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's a Needhamite. I don't know what her nationality is. But she ain't thinking about the Most High. She ain't meditating on the law, statutes, and commandments. So this is judgment from the Most High that this event has happened. So let's read this again. This is a rape suspect freed from jail because of the coronavirus pandemic killed his accuser, then himself, police said. Ibrahim Bouachi, 33, had been charged with rape, strangulation, and abduction after Carla Dominguez, actually, with a name like Dominguez, she might be a Jake, who knows. Strangulation and abduction after Carla Dominguez told police he sexually assaulted her in Alexandria, Virginia in October, according to the Washington Post. Bouachi surrendered to authorities 11 days later, and a judge ordered that he be held without bond. However, his lawyers successfully argued that he be released on a $25,000 bond on April 9th, with the condition that he only leave his home in Maryland to meet with lawyers or pre-trial service officials. In their argument, Bouachi lawyers said it was impossible to provide their client social distancing and safety measures while in jail during the coronavirus outbreak. Bouachi was released less than a month later. He was reportedly arrested again for ramming a police officer's vehicle in Greenbelt. He is charged with first-degree assault, injuring a law enforcement dog, and other counts, then was released again on May 11th. Alexandria prosecutor Brian Porter said that the local authorities did not know about the charges Bouachi faced in connection with the alleged rape, adding that they would have tried to revoke bond if they knew of the charges. Police said Bouachi returned to Dominguez's apartment building and shot her dead on July 29th. He then went on the run from police until Wednesday, when he was seen in his car by authorities in Prince George's County. Police found him with a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and he was taken to a local Virginia hospital, where he was listed in a critical condition on Friday, but has since died. In a statement, Bouachi's lawyers said they were certainly saddened by the tragedy both families have suffered. Unfortunately, the pandemic continued the trial date by several months, and we didn't get a chance to put forth our case. Well, this is all judgment from the Most High. Let me get this for you. Yeah, so this will be Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 39. And this says, "See now that I, even I am he, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand." Now this is the Most High speaking. Now, what this is basically saying that, this woman, this was her judgment to die. All of these circumstances were orchestrated by Yahweh in order to lead to this woman's death, because it was the judgment that was to come upon her. So this convicted rapist being freed from jail was all set up by the Most High. It's lucky I should turn notifications off. It's lucky. Yeah, it's all set up by the Most High to lead to this lady's death. Let me get another precept. It's going to be Psalms. So lucky for the notifications. I should have turned them off. I can't turn them off while I'm in the middle of a video, so I just continue, Lord willing. Psalm 68 and 20. Like this says, He that is our power is the power of salvation, and unto the Most High the Lord belong the issues from death. So this is just like I said before. This is the Most High's judgment. It goes on to say, Psalm 68 and 21, but the Most High shall wound the head of his enemies, and the hairy scalp of such as one who goes off as one who goeth on still in his trespass. So if you're not it's lucky. If you're not meditating on the laws, statutes and commandments of the Most High, if you're an Israelite, then you're basically playing with fire, because the Most High can bring judgment upon you at any minute, and especially when you least expect it. So here's Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter and verse 16. It says, and moreover, this is King Solomon speaking, who was the Yahushua in the reincarnation. And moreover, I saw under the sun a place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. And I said in mine heart, the Most High shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time and a purpose for every work. So this is the place of judgment under the sun right here on this earth. We play out our judgment from all the things we've done in this life and our previous lives, in our previous incarnations. It all gets played out on earth. So who knows why the Most High put this woman to death? There could be a plethora of reasons, but all we know is that he did it. And that's how we have the comfort of the scriptures, because the Bible does say that knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of our times. So while these things might seem mysterious and random to people who don't know this truth, who don't know the word of the Most High, when you understand the word of the Most High, you understand that there's evil spirits that work upon the minds of men to cause them to do certain things, and women, of course. An evil spirit can jump on a man, a woman, a dog, a cat, anything, and they'll play out exactly what they're supposed to do, because the Most High, Yahweh, he controls both sides. On the right hand you have the righteous angels, the good, and on the left hand you have the wicked angels, which are the chief of those would be the spiritual demon Satan. But Satan is an agent that works for the Most High. Let me get this in the book of Job, just for edification's sake. So while many Christians think that Satan is this great, demon who's trying to wage war in the heavens against the Most High Yahweh, that's not the case at all. Satan actually is, he's righteous, but he's on the left-hand side. So he does everything that the Most High commands him to do. So let's read this. It says, Job 1 verse 6, it says, now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves unto Yahweh, and Satan came also among them. And Yahweh said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And Yahweh said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth the Most High and escheweth evil? Then Satan answered the Most High and said, Doth Job fear the Most High for naught? Has that not thou made a hedge about him? You see, and this is the importance of being in this word and in this faith and in this truth. If you're an Israelite, if you're not an Israelite, then this don't apply to you, because salvation is only for the nation of Israel. Yeah? So basically what I'm saying is that if you're an Israelite man in this truth, in this faith, or woman, when you're doing the things that are pleasing to the Most High, you will put a hedge of protection around you. Yeah? And that's what Satan is saying to the Most High here in verse 10. He says, Has not thou made a hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he have, and he will curse thee to thy face. And Yahweh said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. Now here's the thing. If Satan was not under the commandments of the Most High, Satan would have been like, no, to hell with that. I'm going to kill Job just because I want to. But he couldn't do that because he is subject to the power of Yahweh, because Yahweh is the Most High being in all the universe. There is none higher than Yahweh. And underneath Yahweh is his only begotten Son, which is Yahweh Shai, which is the one that the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, which is in Hebrew, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Then after Yahweh Shai, you have King David and the 144,000 elect of Israel. And then under that, you have the rest of the nation of Israel. And then under that, you have the rest of the other 17 nations. And at the very bottom of that, you have Esau and Edom, because they are the basest of all men, So my point of saying that is that judgments come from the Most High every day. And every day people get put to death. People get hit by cars. People get, they drown when they're swimming. They have accidents at the workplace, all kinds of things. These are all judgments from the Most High to bring about the issues of death due to the things that we've done in this life and our past life, because the scriptures say the wages of sin is death. Let me just get that quickly if I can find it. I found it. This is Romans chapter 6 and verse 23. It says, For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of the Most High is eternal life through Yahweh Shai HaMashiach our Lord. Let me read up a bit from verse let me read up from verse 17. It's quite good actually, some nice meat here. Romans 6 and 17, it says, But the Most High be thanked that ye were the servants of sin, but ye have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered to you. Being made free from sin, ye became servants of righteousness. I speak after the manner of men because of the infirmity of your flesh. See, this is the thing, in our flesh, in this current state, as Israelites, we cannot keep the law 100% perfectly. That's why we need those new bodies, which we will receive when Yahweh Shai returns. And in those bodies, we will be free of sin. And since we'll be free of sin, that means we're going to become immortal. We will live forever, because without sin, we won't have to suffer the sting of death. But let me continue. It says, I speak in verse 19, Romans 6 and 19. I speak after the manner of men because of the infirmity of your flesh. For as ye have yielded your members servants to uncleanness, and to iniquity unto iniquity, even so now yield your members servants to righteousness and holiness. For when ye were the servants of sin, ye were free from righteousness. But what fruit had ye in those things whereof ye are now ashamed? For the end of those things is death. But now being made free from sin, and becoming servants to the Most High, ye have your fruit unto holiness, and the end everlasting life. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of the Most High is eternal life through Yahushua HaMashiach, our Lord. So that's that, man. That's the end of the lesson. Basically, this woman's death was a judgment that was brought about by the Most High, which is in some ways unfortunate, but in some ways it's a righteous judgment, because all of the Most High's judgments are righteous. So with that, giving all praise, honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem HaKodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well, and shalom to the Archim pushing this word around the globe in faith and in truth and in sincerity. And for now I say shalom and abad babah.